Hello and welcome to the Black Forest. My name is Daniel and I'm going to tell you just a little story about the clocks which are made here in the Black Forest. How are they made, when they started making them, and how they developed through the years. That's why I'm going to start with the very first generation of clocks which we have. And that one looked something like this. So this one was made in 1640 by two local farmers here in the Black Forest. During the winter, here it could be very cold and sometimes it's very long, so it's kind of hard to go outside from the house. So when they don't have anything else to do, they decided to make a clock. As you can see, it has a very simple design because it's made entirely from wood. For mechanism, it's using these three wooden wheels in the middle, and to power it, they decided to use this rock. And whenever the stone is going down, it will move the three wooden wheels and the clock will start working, so you will have the time. Also, as you can see in the front, that it has only one hand to show the hours and not the minutes. So you can imagine how hard it was for them to guess the time. Very hard. So that was the first one. The second generation comes about 100 years later, which is this one. It's called the shield clock because of the big front face that it has, and people put it for a purpose. Because it's so big, they decided to paint on it. Some of the clocks will have people or animals, or like this one, flowers. Depends on the person who makes the clock. But the most important part here is the cuckoo which we have. And the cuckoo will play as many times as the hours. If it's like now 7 o'clock, it will come out 7 times, 8 o'clock, 8 times, and so on until 12. But also will come out at the half hour, so you can enjoy it every 30 minutes. The third generation comes about 70 years later. At that time, during the industrial revolutions, the trains started to come in the Black Forest, and when they made the train stations, they wanted to put something inside of it. So that's why they decided to make this clock. This is the only thing that it could show the time to the people. As you can see, it has the design of the old station houses. And you can see these lines on the side, they represent the railway tracks. But what else can we see here? This one looks a bit different from the previous one, right? That's because for this one they started to carve the wood for the decorations. See? All the decorations which is on top. So for the decorations they are using basswood. This is the which they are using. Or you may also know it like lime wood. They're both the same. Just in different countries they can know it in different things. It's a very soft wood and it's easy to carve, but still takes time just to make only one clock because first they have to leave the wood dry about 4 years and only then they can start carving. Also, it could take from a couple of days to about a month depending on the size of the clock when they're going to make it. To make a cuckoo clock, you just need the housing, which will be something like this. Nowadays they have started to use some machines, so it will be easier to make. After that, they started to put some decorations in the front for the face, like simple leaves, and on top they could bring also one bird with some more leaves. And this way you'll get the very simple and traditional design of the Black Forest cuckoo clock. To make it work, inside it put these metal mechanisms which are made from brass and stainless steel. They are actually very well built, so they can last for a very long time, about 60 to 70 years. To power it, unlike the first generation who uses the stone, this time they started to use metal weights like this one. And because the mechanism is more complicated for this one, it takes exactly 24 hours for the weight to reach the floor, like this. It will have the chains, like this, and it will go down. But we actually have different types of mechanisms. Like I said, this one it's called a one-day clock, so it will go for 24 hours. The other is using these much larger weights, and they call 8-day clocks. That means that it takes exactly 8 days for the weight to reach the floor. And when that happens, when it reaches the floor, to rewind the mechanism of the clock, you just have to simply grab one of the chains like this and pull it all the way up. That way the mechanism will be rewind for the next 24 hours or 8 days. But as you can see on this clock, we have 3 ways, right? That's because in this one there is an additional mechanism, which is this music box. So first I'm going to play it like this, and you'll tell me if you can hear the music. Can you hear the music?
Yes.
Yeah? But it's very low, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I put it inside like this, can you hear it better? Yeah? So the wood works also as an amplifier to the music. That's why you can hear the music more than the usual one. But to understand it better, this time I'll play this clock because it's very interesting. And not only the music is inside, also some additional things to make the people move, like this one. You can see the woman is hitting the man because they're drinking too much. And then you can see on top we have the dancers which will rotate, and also the water wheel. And of course the man which likes really so much beer. Germans are like that. Yeah. But the most important thing of a cuckoo clock is the cuckoo sound, which we get, well, not from a real bird, unfortunately, because it will be too bad for it. That's why they made these wooden air bellows. They are working like whistlers, so whenever the air is coming in and out of them, they will be making the sound like this. As you can hear, they are making 2 different tones, so whenever I play them together, does it sound like a cuckoo now?
Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, for the different sizes of clocks, we'll have a different types of air bellows inside of them. So for the small clocks, we have these, which sounds like a baby cuckoo, right? And for the bigger clocks, we have the bigger air bellows, of course. And this one sounds like a really old one, right? And of course, this is just apart from the history of the mechanical cuckoo clocks, which are a big tradition here in the Black Forest. That's why even after 300 years, they're still making them. But nowadays, everything is modern, and that's why we also have a battery powered clock. So the mechanism inside will be almost the same like the mechanical ones. Just the difference will be, it will be entirely made from plastic, the mechanism, and it will be powered from the batteries and not from the metal weights. And also it will have the chains with the weights on them, but the weights will be also made from plastic, so they will not do anything. Their purpose is only for decoration, so you don't have to pull them. And because here the prices are including the taxes, that's why you don't have to pay them. You'll get tax refund cards. So with these cards, if you purchase something for 50 euros or more, you'll get 15% for the tax. So if it's 50 euros or more, you'll get 15% discount of it. So thank you for your attention. I hope you liked it, and
Yeah.
Selection. Right.